بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
إن الدين عند الله الإسلام.
Now, that should be sufficient, and you shouldn't need more than that. But guess what? Allah has blessed us that we do have more than that. I can show you, alhamdulillah, from this year, 2 examples that shocked me. And I use them now because I saw it with my own eyes, heard it with my own ears. Somebody came in Islam from one ayah of Quran that you and I say all the time. It's in what surah? Fatiha. What is the ayah? What do you think it is? Okay. Have you heard Rabbil Alameen? Is that the first ayah? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Now, why would anybody come to Islam off of this ayah? We say it all the time. In fact, some Muslims don't even think about it. Just go to do salah. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. Allahu Akbar. A person is saved from the hellfire, changed their whole life, became a Muslim from this ayah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And it's actually the last 2 words, Rabbil Alameen. That's why they came to Islam. Why? He was looking at religions and also looking at some of the so-called modernistic thinking and considering the technology we have these days, and he was thinking that religions really don't provide for the modern scene that we're in. And because now we have the capability of space travel, to go to other planets, to go to other worlds, we also have the capability of understanding now through some of the technology we have that there are things that exist around us that we can't see or hear, but they're still there. There are other worlds. And what if there are others, beings of some kind, that like us can make choices? Do they have a God? Somebody comes from another planet. Do they have a God? If so, who would be their God? Would they tell us about a whole new religion? It's a good question. And he thought no religion provided for it, so he was giving up on religion altogether. Until he saw this. Somebody was showing it to him, whatever, talking about Islam or something, and they just mentioned all the praises to the Lord of the worlds. And he said, hold on, did you say world or worlds? He said, worlds. He said, S, it has S? No, it's in Arabic, it doesn't have S. It's bigger because it's clear that in English you just leave the S off or put it on, you can change the whole meaning, and could be, maybe, maybe not. But when you say Alameen, it's plural, it's clear. Alam is a world. Alameen, it's worlds. You mean they're more than just like human beings? He said yes, definitely, because also we know about the jinn. Mankind and jinn is mentioned. Minal jinnati wan nas is mentioned at the end of the Quran itself. He said, Ashhadu la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah. This must be right because only God would know that He created more than one world. Only God would know, even from the beginning, that those were not just stars up there, those were actually suns, and those are actually planets, and there's a potential anyway that there could be life there, and there might be other life around us that people didn't know about before, and He would be the only one that would be able to know that. So therefore, this must be the right religion. I bear witness none to worship except Allah, and Muhammad is His messenger. The other ayah. What do you think the other ayah was? Actually, it's the very, very, very first thing of the Quran of all. Bismillah. Not even Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, just Bismillah. Brought somebody to Islam this year. Well, I found out about this year. I don't know. He might have been in Islam a little longer than a year. But I met him in Ramadan. He was a Christian. And he got to really studying the Bible. And he realized that there were just too many errors and too much misunderstanding from the New Testament. And he just backed away altogether and said, I'm going to become a Jew. So he studied Judaism and he entered into Judaism. And that's very hard for an African American to do. But he did it. And he had to put up with a lot because they won't let you just enter. You got to go through all of this testing and learn this and that, and they hope you'll quit. But he stayed in it. He was 14 years. And he continued studying, learning, and even to the extent of, wanting to know how you would even share this with other people. It's very difficult for them, by the way. And then he ran across, now he knew Muslims all this time. Not one of them ever told him anything about Islam. But he knew Muslims. Okay, they're normal guys. Some of them are okay, some are a little cheesy, but they're okay guys. American Muslims. And then, by chance, by Allah's qadr, he came to know what it said. Now keep this in mind. I already told you the Jews don't have a word for Allah. And that was bothering him more than anything, and that was one of the things he continued studying on, and one of the things he kept bothering them about is, how come we don't have a word for God? Don't we know His name? Come on, doesn't He have a name? They said, yeah, but we don't know what it is. No, and this became his quest to know what is the name of God. And here, Bismillah. Does that say in the name of Allah? Yeah, that's all. But does that mean Allah's name is Allah? God's name is Allah? Is that what you're trying to say? I said, yeah. It's His name? Yeah. That's it? I said, yeah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah. He said it must be right because only God would know what His real name is. Then if anybody else came up with something, let's look and see what the God is that they have, and you'll find that they're baloney gods. Sorry, but there's nothing that you really want to worship.